Ooh. All right, what's up, guys? This is Team Hard Life Captain Albert Sastucci, and we are here trying to get this going. Man, I tried like 4 different times to get the video to go live, and it didn't want to go live, and then finally it's there. Let's see. That's it. Come on. That's weird. Come on. What's up, Benny, Henry, John, Roger? Let's see if this goes. Is this one on? Let's see. Go back over here. Allergies being a pain in the butt. Let's see if this goes. There it is. Turn that off. Skip that. I'll be thumbs up number 4. And let's see. All right, guys. So I'm waiting for Rachel Caballero to come online so she can give us an up-to-date of what's going on with City Council and so forth. So let's welcome her in real quick. What's up?
Hi, guys. I got made fun of for that being my intro yesterday. I'm all, how am I supposed to say hi, you freaks?
On the radio station deal?
Yeah, that guy. So that was interesting. That was interesting. Let me put you up on my page over here. I'm like doing mad scientist Rain Man stuff over here.
There you go.
So hi, Fisher guys. Real quick, good morning, John. Good morning, Henry. And of course, my buddy Alberto. Basically, yesterday I got invited to be on the Opposing Sides radio show, and that is Larry Elizondo, which I think is hilarious because they call him the frijolero, and I'm like, but in English, isn't that beaner, right?
Yeah.
Like you're letting somebody call you a beaner, dude? Like how smart are you?
Well, isn't there another part to that, like a precursor word or something like
Yeah,
that?
el mero frijolero.
Yeah, there you go.
El mero
The main
frijolero.
beaner.
Like, I don't know how I'd feel about somebody calling me a beaner, but I guess. So
Well, I
anyway,
mean, you gotta look at that. That's pretty funny. Like it gives him weight. He ain't just a regular beaner. He's the main beaner.
yeah. And boy, today,
I
let
was
me tell you
I was
something.
dying laughing when I heard you say that. Oh,
I'm all,
nice.
interesting.
Yeah.
The funny thing about it is that I hate this stupid thing. Is that he had me on. I was on for a full hour and a half. He basically told me that I was not allowed to talk about the petition. I wasn't there representing myself. I was there representing the Corpus Christi Taxpayers Association. So that tied my hands a little bit.
Yeah.
And he had already told me, even though he said on the radio that he was allowing me free reign to speak about whatever it is I wanted, that wasn't true. Because he said I was not allowed to bring up the petition, and which is a huge topic of conversation, right? So the I don't know if I know you heard bits and pieces, but I felt like he was trying to pin all of the opposition during public comment on me. Like I'm the antagonizer, making everybody fight city council. I'm the shit stirrer. I'm the problem. I'm the problem. That's the impression I got. And so, and he said, he kind of tried to group me in, and he said something to the effect of, well, whenever you all go there, and I said, well, hold on a second, like I'm there on my own accord. Like obviously we're all there at the same time because that's what time it starts.
Yeah.
Genius. But also, like, I'm there by myself. I'm there representing myself. I'm not partnering up. I said, what you guys are misunderstanding is that we're all coming together because we all disagree what they're doing.
Yes.
I said,
We
and so
actually have a
then
common ground.
correct. And
Yeah.
I think honestly, Albert, that's making them nervous. It's making them nervous that they're seeing the Blues talking to the Reds, and
Mhm.
they're crapping their pants. Okay, so anyway, then he went towards where that I need to control, like I need to control like everybody there, and I'm like I can't control anybody. I said
Yeah.
people ask me for information and I tell them this is what I know, this is
Mhm.
factual information, and everybody decides on their own. Like I'm not here dictating to anyone how to speak, how to behave, when to speak. I mean, I can make suggestions all day long, but are people going to hear me out? It's up to people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You can lead a
so,
horse to water, but you can't force them to drink.
right.
So
And I love that they think that I have all this control. Like it's freaking hilarious to me. Like, I don't have the control that you guys have imagined up in your head. It's just a lot of people agree with what I'm saying, and that's different.
yeah.
So then
They,
he while I was sitting there, and he asked me not to say anything, but well, it took them 3 people to combat my hour-and-a-half interview today. He had 3 people on there disputing everything I said today. The old mayor, Nelda Martinez, Councilman Barrera, and Councilman Mark Scott.
yeah.
So those 3 people were scheduled to come on today to combat my interview. I think that's hilarious. And so what he was talking about is, on some aspects, was like, we need to come together and our city's looking bad, and he tried to make it seem like we're not working with council, like some of us community members. And I had to put him in his place, and I said, oh, we're working perfectly fine with 5 council members.
Yep. Yep.
We're working perfectly fine with them.
Yeah, because
We
they're
can't seem.
communicating back with us. They're not ignoring us. They're not being selective on whether or not I should hear these people and act upon what they're asking. And
Yeah.
that was part of the conversation that I was hearing, like where he was trying to say, well, you know, y'all are not leaving the door open. Well, hold on, wait a minute. We didn't walk in with closed mind, closed ears. We walked in with open mind, open ears to see what they had to say. And when they choose to ignore our input after they are elected by us to be in those positions and they refuse to listen to us, when do you say enough is enough? When do
Right.
you draw that line? When is it okay for any individual, especially a voter, who is paying attention to what's going on, to say, you know what, I've had enough. They are not listening to me.
Mm-hmm.
What's my next or what's my next step? And that's
Mm-hmm.
where, like you said, people's feelings are already in there because they go time and time again. I've been there nowhere near as much as you have, but I've been there enough to see where these guys, the first time they went up there, they were all nice and cordial and inviting and talking to him, and they opposed everything they had to say, and they got
Mm-hmm.
ignored, and then they got ignored, and they got and this is me, guys. This is just me talking about the times that I've been up there, and or when I'm paying attention online. I'm nowhere near Rachel's status. Rachel's status is
You're getting
way
there.
up there, so she's
You're getting
seen
there.
it for years. The what?
I said, you're getting there. You're getting there.
Okay. So for me to see it in such a short period of time tells a huge amount of these people are finally have hit the brick wall, and they're going to go through it with or without them. And if they can't listen to what's going on, then yes, we are starting to form alliances because we all
Mhm.
stand opposed to what they're trying to do to the city. Give me just a second. How you doing, boss? Is this Sweet B? No, the Sweet A. Sweet B is
Bart
right
Simpson
around the
says, I
corner.
know you are, but
It's
what am
probably
I?
the second door over and stuff like that.
Sounds like they don't
No, you're
care.
good.
Freedom of speech, Rachel. Yep. The blue should talk to the red. Red should talk to blue. What a concept. Exactly. Thank you, Dennis. You
Yep.
get facts and make them. Rachel just I'll going back. Rachel just a pretty
Yep.
face
Yep.
destroying them. The fact a female is in the rears is intimidating. Well, I think it annoys them too, because like I've never been a part of the political environment. So the fact that this no-namer female Latina chick is coming around and raising all sorts of hell, they are pissed, especially the white guys. Especially the white guys. So for me, I'm
You
like,
can see it. You can see it.
it's
Like,
palatable, don't you think, Albert? Like like you go up there and you can see them all like, "Ugh," like they get, you can see it in their body language. Yeah,
yeah, the posture, like when you're not there, and I've seen you like walk out to go to the hall or something, and they get all lax and they're all ha ha ha, and as soon as you come back, it's like back to being stern, and they put
yeah.
up such a front, and you know, and like I said, you know, I've only been there this much compared to you, but for me to see and pick up on all these body gestures, their tone of voice, the way they act with other people that are in the room and stuff like that, you can see it, and
Hmm.
it's going to boil down to, because we're not part of the sheep that are being led to believe their lies. At the end of
I
the day,
mean,
we're not about it anymore. So
yep. And then like some of the stuff that, because so it took the three people to combat my interview, right? So then you're listening to Roland Barrera and Mark Scott, and I tried to print this, but then it like, I hate Apple. I might change phones because it printed out all jacked up. But like Roland Barrera kept using words like rhetoric, inflammatory politics, um, something cronyism. Like he's going after like all of us just because we're not agreeing with them. And then he also mentioned that some of the commenters were like, "Why are you guys bringing back the Inner Harbor desal? Like it's been voted down."
yeah,
And he's like, because we think it's a bad idea for it to be down. So wait, hold on. So what you're saying is you're not listening to us.
yes,
And then
again,
so Mayor Nelda
not listening
Martinez,
to us. Yeah,
right? And so then she brings up, I dropped something. She brings up that well, people were against the Mary Rhodes pipeline, and that's what's saving us now. And I'm like, I get that, right? There's going to be some decisions that people, but people came out against this 7-1, and they were against the Mary Rhodes pipeline because they knew that water wasn't going to be for the community. They knew it was going to be for industry. And people are
yep,
like, I don't understand why you're so against this. I don't understand. I said, look, because all of the combining factors, we should not have to pay for this because we don't need the water. All
yep,
four of the projects, Albert, that are being discussed that are not the Inner Harbor desal, none of those projects, I repeat, none of those projects are going to bring the city out of drought restrictions. None of them.
what's crazy is they're forcing that. I've been seeing it more and more, and even today, Jeff walked in. He said, "Man, did you hear what they said on the radio?" What they say on the radio. He goes, they're basically putting it out there again that we're, because we oppose them, that we are putting out false rhetoric and lies and defamation of character on these guys. I'm like, no, we're not.
No, we're not.
That's all been in the courts. Like, we are going off of hard evidence that's irrefutable. They've been drug into these um, uh, depositions where they have to go and give a verbal, like, okay, did I know, did I not know, you know, whether they tell lies or they tell the truth. They've been interviewed for this, so they have a hand in what has happened. And if they are refusing to acknowledge that they are part of the problem,
Hmm.
that is the problem. Like, you know, we're going off of what is actually happening. Not, we're not, our feelings. Our feelings are something else. If we were to go out there with our feelings, we'd be arrested every single day we went out there.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so we're going out there spitting the facts at them, and they don't like it.
Yep.
They're doing wrong, and they don't like when they're being. It's like any kid.
Albert,
Like, they do something
we're
bad, and
using,
they get mad because they got in trouble. Like,
right,
this is where they're
and
at.
we're using their own information, Albert. We're using their own information against them. Like this is
Yep.
the information they're providing to the community. Um, the
Hey,
heart.
wait. You're not supposed to read that, but it's our
Yeah,
public information.
right. Because they're obligated. They're legally obligated to provide certain information to us. So that the fact that they do, the fact that they, how do I say it? They're pissed that we're doing the legwork. They're pissed that we're doing the research. They're pissed that we're doing the document, that we're reading their documents.
That we're
And hey,
actually paying attention to what's going on. That's what they're pissed about. Before we weren't paying attention to what's going on. They did as they wanted, when they wanted, how they wanted, and now that we're actually paying attention, they don't like it.
correct.
They're in a whole new ball game where they're actually talking to people who actually understand what the hell they're trying to talk about, versus people that okay, like we're not yes men anymore. I
Right.
gotta use the rest of it real quick,
Exactly.
but you
Okay,
have the
go ahead.
floor. Go ahead.
So, real quick, guys, here's another thing. There is already a desalination plant in the Inner Harbor. CC Polymers has tried to get that thing to work for I don't know how long. They filed bankruptcy twice. This is not going to work in the Inner Harbor. It's not going to work in the Inner Harbor, and why they're refusing to acknowledge that, I have no idea. This industry isn't going to do it because they don't want to pay the money, and they know it's an experiment that's probably not going to work. They want for us to pay for it. Albert has shown you documents. I've shown you documents where industry is suing the county because they don't want to pay their taxes. Industry is suing the city because they don't want to pay their water rate increases. Industry is a horrible, horrible partner, horrible partner. And it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, we got some comments on here. The question is, why are they doing this to themselves and others? Money. It's always money. We can tie so much back to campaign contributors. It's crazy. Luciano, I'm hearing that is messing with us here in San Antonio. Luciano, what is messing with you in San Antonio? The water's making the frog. Okay, I don't know, Dragon Slayer. All right, bro, you're bringing some crazy stuff up. Why don't they come up with a filter to use the ocean water? Okay, I think Luciano, you probably are a little bit more like at a lower understanding, but the everything that they need for for the desal plant, it's not called filters, it's called something else. And
They're
they don't
doing
even know.
osmosis.
Yeah, but they don't even know if those are going to work either. Um, and narcissists attack your character when they can't beat you in an argument. Correct, Dragon Slayer. So I have a development, Albert, that I wanted to bring up today with you. You guys are the first to know. I'm not going to probably talk about it until later in the week. But next week's city council agenda is already out. And let me just read to you what's on executive session, which I think you will be very happy to hear. October 28th. Okay. So, are you ready for this? No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
This
Drum
is item
roll.
28. This is not for today, it's for next week. And Albert, before I say this, your opinion going to the last city council meetings for the last 2 or 3 years that you've been attending, what was your impression of the relationship of the city manager and the mayor? What was your impression just by attending the meetings? Nothing, try to keep it just from attending the meetings.
I saw where she relied upon his answers, and how he would respond was basically like she was always throwing the ball back on him instead
Mhm,
of being the manager and should know these answers. Like
mhm,
when we ask these questions, them being the mayor and the city council, they're supposed to be on top of all of this. Well,
mhm,
hold on, let me go and ask. Like, so basically, if I wanted to go have a meeting with, you know, Peter and have all these question answers, then why the hell is city council up there? Why are they supposed to be making the decision for the city? They should have these answers. They should have these questions
mhm,
before we even go up there to go speak. Yet
mhm,
they kept throwing the ball at him. And so basically it was like, okay, I'm here to come talk to Peter Zanoni rather than come and talk to the city council members and the mayor who are supposed to be running the city.
mhm.
They are supposed to be the ones we're communicating with, not the city attorney, the city this, city like
Did
I didn't
you?
understand that, and
Yeah.
from somebody that had no political views, no political involvement. Let me correct myself. Up until recently, when I started seeing that they were trying to force a desal plant down our throats to make us accept it for water restrictions or water. Uh, the fear mongering of saying, "Hey, we need it. That it has to be for the city." And then when you actually do the due diligence and read it, whatever we're paying for is not even going to help us.
Nope.
It's for industry, and then when that gets me mad because I'm a business owner, and granted, I'm small in comparison to the multi-billion-dollar operations that are around here. However, I have enough input as a business owner to understand how they are working these angles to make themselves more money while screwing over all this group over here. And I understand that because, like, when I price my gear, I price it to where obviously I got to replace the product, I got to replace the man hours and everything that I use to make that product. Granted, I'm not pricing the product that one product is going to accomplish all of that in one sale. It's going to
Right.
take hundreds of sales to get there. But again, I'm not sitting there going up to the city council and saying, hey, you know what? I'd like to add a new addition to my shop, and I want the city council to raise the taxes for the community to pay for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what they're doing. These multi-billion-dollar operations have learned that they don't have to foot the bill all the time. They don't have to go take out a loan all the time. All they have to do is go to city council and request extra money for them to continue making money hand over fist on our backs.
Did
And
you
I
know
have a
that
problem with that.
did you know that in the state of Texas that small businesses make up 99% of businesses in Texas?
I did not know that.
Here, I'm gonna I don't know how to put it into the string, but I'm gonna try. Well, and what was your impression though? Did the mayor and did you feel like the mayor and the Peter Zanoni got along?
Very much. Very,
Okay.
very much, yes. Like, if I would also see when, like, a call up a truth that came out against Peter Zanoni, she would put a stop to it. She would protect him from any kind of attacks on it that would prevent people from getting the word out about what we have learned about Peter Zanoni. Like all the stuff he's already currently involved in and stuff like again, Rachel nailed on this earlier. We are finally paying attention. We are starting to listen to what's going on, and it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. We
Mhm.
are all coming together on the same fact and premise that we are not in agreement with what city council is doing and or forcing down our throats.
Correct. Now, with that being said, the mayor and the Peter and the city manager have been like this. Why? Because the city manager gave a deposition in the Ajit David lawsuit claiming that the mayor knew about the forged federal documents and she chose
To
to
continue on
still
with it.
to continue on with that project. The mayor is
Yes, that's
saying, no, I didn't know, I didn't know, even though I provided document to them that, and actually I should probably make those copies today, that I provided documentation to them that she did know. She knew as soon as it was put on the agenda, before it was the second reading occurred, which shouldn't have occurred because they changed the chemical makeup of the agenda of the item. So now, since the city manager has come out against the mayor, this is how tyrannical this mayor is. This is agenda item number 28 for next week's meeting in executive session. Item number 25-1656, executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code and Texas Disciplinary to consult with attorneys concerning legal issues related to personnel matters and the city manager and Texas Government Code 551.074 to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, including the city manager.
boom.
They
When
are
you don't
turning on
agree
each
with her,
other.
she finds a way to remove you out of the equation.
They
Yes.
are turning on each other.
Yes. Wow. So I fully support it. I mean,
I
we
know.
we were trying to figure this out. What last year? How can we remove Peter out of the equation? And they have done it by themselves because the truth has come to light, and they don't like when the truth is in the light because now everybody can see it. When
Yep.
it was behind closed doors, and nobody knew what was going on. They had each other's backs.
Oh
But as
yeah,
soon as
I mean it was a
one
free
spilled the,
for all. It was a
yep,
free for all. Why do you guys think that the expenses went up from 900 million to 1.8 billion? Because they're transferring money back and forth to each other. That's something else that Larry Elizondo said yesterday. He said, "Well, I said back in the 80s, the industry, you could see where industry was giving money back to the community." And I
yes,
said you could see it in the little league fields. You could see it with the small businesses. I said, but now all they're doing is giving money to government arms. That's it.
yep,
That's
yep.
all they're doing. And so he's like, I'm gonna get you that list. And I said, brother, get it to me because I can tie. And actually, I should
Yeah,
text
that's
him
how you
right
raise them.
now.
Like we could show otherwise,
Yeah,
and that's the thing that I saw on there where you posted like you can't really comment on the this. So is it a radio show or what kind
it's a
of?
radio show. Get this. This radio show, and I pulled the information because Mama didn't raise no fool. This is a proclamation that the mayor did. I know it's backward, guys, but I don't know how to. Oh, maybe I do it like this. Here
Yeah,
we go.
yes, exactly. Yeah,
City Council honors local radio personality Ed Ocañas for 40 years of broadcasting. This story was on June 10th, right? Well,
yeah.
they bring on the Larry Elizondo Power Hour show a month before. Guess who all the commercials are for on the that Larry Elizondo show? The Port of Corpus Christi, CCISD, Hicks Automotive, who donated $20,000 to the Coastal Bend Coalition to make sure that their pro desal candidates got elected. You have LULAC, and guess who the last one is? Corpus Christi Water. They're funding that dude's show.
Wow.
They're
Okay,
funding his show.
Corpus Christi Water is supposed to be a Corpus Christi entity, right?
Yes. It's an
A part
entity of
of
the
the
government.
city like a city government. How are they sitting there giving money as or paid advertisement for that or sponsorship? Like, I mean, how is that even legal? Like, I mean, the government politics like that should not be uh, partaking
I got
in
a call
stuff
through.
like that. I mean, that just sounds again like they're buying out the media, basically. Kind of
Yep.
like that other numbnuts with the Chronicle or Chronica or whatever. That whole
Oh, you don't even want to get me started on that the Chronica guy. He is causing major problems in local politics.
yes,
Major
it is. Yeah,
problems. And all of his stuff, nothing is substantiated, nothing is factual. He's on one side 1 minute and then he gets paid to be on the other side, so he flip-flops. He's
yep,
the most unreliable source of information. And he's a detriment to this community. At first I'm
yeah,
like, okay, well maybe his approach is weird or what have you, but no,
yeah,
he is causing major he's mistreating people. Are so gullible in our town. They're paying him to run their campaign. And I'm like, y'all are dumb. I advise highly against this. Well, he's
yeah,
got 350 subscribers on Chronica. I said, it doesn't matter. You're going to make a deal with the devil. Don't do it. They did it
yeah,
anyway. And guess what? He turns on them because the opponent comes back and says, hey, I've got more money.
yeah. He's
So
going where the money is at, hands down. But he's also learned by causing that kind of hate and confusion, people are tuning in. And that's what I learned that on my YouTube channel too. Certain videos that I had went viral because people started arguing within the comment section, and because they were arguing in the comment section, the video kept getting up, and that's how I hit millions and millions of views.
mhm.
And that's also why I'm in a stagnant position because I refuse to allow that kind of BS to happen within my comment section. And it's not me trying to uh, hold speech. But again, too, I'm not going to allow false rhetoric or lies to continue to grow in my channel. I'm not going to allow those seeds to plant in my garden.
Yeah.
I am doing hard work of keeping it legit, keeping whatever we say on there comes from actual hardcore proof of, hey, this is where the receipt is for our claim. And that's why I choose to deal with you, Rachel, and not a lot of other people. Because when I ask, hey, this is what's going on, this is what I heard, hey, actually, here's the paperwork that shows exactly what you're hearing is true. Or I haven't heard that. Let me do some research. And when you come back and say, I couldn't find anything, you don't stop there. You have other people like John
Mhm.
Weber and other
Mhm.
guys that have a little bit more time, because I know you're running a business. You're trying to, make a living as
Mhm.
well as we are. So
I'm living
by
on the
everybody,
poor, like I'm living on the poor side right now, and I'm gonna preface in one of my meet things. I'm like, y'all are gonna see the same outfits because homegirl ain't got money to be going shopping, so deal with it. You can make fun of
yep.
me all you want. You're gonna see the same clothes. I don't care, but because I mean, I am living on a. I am living on. Luckily, my man is a good man, and he's like he provides well. But as
uh,
far as me personally doing all this fun stuff, that ain't happening because mama broke. And so, is it worth it for me? Because that's what my guy says too. Like, is it really worth it? And this is my thing. I do believe I was raised Christian, Albert. I do believe that God will provide. I believe that. Like I got to go to the Valor, the Gala of Valor this past weekend for veteran Leroy Torres and Burn Pits 360.
mhm.
The tickets were crazy expensive. And I sent my cousin a text message and I said, by chance, I can't afford these tickets, but do you have extra seats at your table? And they invited me. And so I think that God like puts the people in place for you to be able to do things. And I wholeheartedly believe that. I'll get a client all of a sudden, I'm like struggling, and then bam, I get a client, help them out, and I'm, back to square. But it's not been easy. I'm trying to figure out how I can represent our community with, one, not having a muzzle on my mouth, but two, being able to provide for myself. Thank God I have plenty of food. I have a roof over my table, electricity, Wi-Fi, which we all need now. So I'm
Mm.
good there. But I'm like, something's got to give, because I haven't been fishing in a long time, like out fishing in the bay. And so that it's just that thing where we're sacrificing a lot right now to be able to celebrate and have peace in the future. And so
Exactly.
for me, the no clothes, the no shopping, the no vacations, the no all that shit is worth it for me. It's
Yes.
worth it for me, because now is the time we've got to fight. Now's the time. We don't have any time to waste. We've got to collect all of our people. It's the same 30,000 people in Corpus Christi that are electing these corrupt politicians. So we need another 25, 30 to get in and start voting to say, nah, 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 nah. We're good. We're not going to get involved in politics, but we're definitely going to vote, and we're going to vote against all those names. Because
Exactly. Yes.
based off of those interviews, the three interviews today, they're going to put some major candidates to bring the Inner Harbor desal plant back. So if we don't elect our people, they will bring that thing back to the agenda, because they're
Yeah.
stubborn. They've got their feet stuck in the ground. They've
Well,
dug their
they
heels in.
at the end of the day, you can look at this however you want. This is the way I'm choosing to look at it. These people were paid to get a job done. That
Yes.
job was to get the Inner Harbor desal plant going on the backs of the taxpayers, so that way they can continue bringing in more industry and more of their friends.
Mm-hmm.
She stated it. They are friends. So
Yep.
she is taking care of
She
her
admitted it
friends.
herself.
Yes. I saw several of the depositions. I didn't get to see it all, but the key points, the eye winks and making sure she wasn't being caught,
Mm-hmm.
moron. They're videotaping it. Like, they're gonna see this later. They do that for a reason, so they ensure that if they misheard something or they think they heard something a certain way, they can go back and replay the question and how it was answered. Your mannerisms and in which you answer a question will determine where they can sit there and determine that's a lie right there. They can
Mm-hmm.
see through that. That is their job. That is their profession. And if you are stacking the chips against you by putting out all these lies, it's going to be real easy to uncover the truth, because now they're going to tie your hands and be like, all right, we need to really know what's going on. And because we are all finally paying attention to what's going on, they're furious because now they actually have a fight on their hands. Where originally, when they were talking numbers and getting paid, oh man, this will be easy. Like we ain't even got to worry about it. We just got to scare them with water, being short on water and this, and they're going to fall for it. No, we have not fallen for it. We've actually started paying
Right.
attention, because this ain't the first time y'all lied to us. This
Yep.
ain't the second time y'all lied to us. This ain't that. There's probably been a dozen times that they've already been caught in lies.
Lied. Yep. They lied about the far field modeling.
Yep.
They lied about not draining the lakes. They are draining the lakes. They lied about that. They lied about us running out of water to the community when we're not. They've already admitted that twice behind the dais. We're not running out of water. They have run out of water to sell to industry. And what
Yep.
what people don't know is they sold something like I can't remember the number. I don't want to missay, but as of January, they were still selling our water to heavy water users. As of January, we're already in stage 3 and they're still selling our effing water. Like I want them to do a moratorium on selling water until the community gets out of restrictions.
Yep.
That's what I want for them to do. But then this is what the scare tactic that they tell people. Oh, well, if we curtail industry, that's going to make the economy go down.
Yep.
Prove it. Prove it. Because all the product that these refineries are doing here is not for the citizens of Corpus Christi. It's not. It's
Yep.
being shipped out.
And
And so
here's
it's
the
uh-huh.
here's the
Go ahead.
thing I learned several years ago. I was, um, and actually I learned this in several different stages of my life. One is when I got out of the Marine Corps, I was looking for a part-time job, or for a job just to get. So I took up this hourly worker deal where you go in and
Mhm.
you show up that day and they say, all right, we're going to send you over here. You're going to be manual labor for this company. But you show up the next day, you're going to go to this company. So what they did was they paid me $10 an hour, but they charged that company that they were working for $35 an hour for me to drive over there to go work on their clock at $10 an hour. I found this out because they said, yeah, we're looking for guys, but right now we don't want permanent position. I said, well, shoot. I was like, hire me at part-time, and pay me what you're paying them, or even I'll go for $30 an hour, and I'll work twice as many hours, just so that way, at the end of the day, yes, they're paying me for part time at 20 hours, but if I'm working 40 at $30 an hour, I'm making $15 an hour, versus $10 an hour at 40 hours. And I was like,
Yep.
and then at that, I'm going to save y'all what 40 times 5 is $200, right? I'm saving y'all $200 a day working directly for y'all, and y'all can put on the books for 20 hours and pay me, that amount. And they looked at me and they're like, we didn't even think of that. And I'm like, of course not, because these bigger businesses that are making money off the small guy who's in a bad position
Mhm.
are forced to accept whatever is thrown out at them. We're accepting the crumbs off this table where we're not even allowed to feast there. And the reason why I say we're not even allowed to feast there, because if we were, they would hear us when we're talking, and we wouldn't have to raise our voice and show our feelings when we go to these city council meetings. We would be heard. When you're at the table, you are heard. We're not at the table, guys. We're fighting for the crumbs that big industry and the city council members that are choosing to fight for industry rather than for the city taxpayers. Don't be, we're not fighting for crumbs, guys. We're fighting for a seat at the table.
Yep.
When you can remember that and start owning that, we will stop fighting for crumbs and we'll start fighting for a piece of the table, because we have an ace in the hole. And I posted this on Facebook to another guy's post. So he started collaborating or commenting back and forth to me, because I told
Mhm.
him, I said, well, why don't they start paying their fair share of taxes? He thought, oh, because they hire a lot of people at a little bit higher pay But in reality, they are making 4 or 5 times that amount off that one worker.
Yep.
Yes, that worker is probably making $20 an hour, $30 an hour, but that company is making 150 to probably $200, or shoot, $500, a
No, it's
thousand
insane.
dollars per hour. Because you got to really take in consideration to run a business. You got overhead, you got lights, you got taxes, you got phones, you got internet, you got all these negatives per person, per hour, per day.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can't sell that man hour for 10 times or 20 or 100 times that amount, that company will go under. So by us having the inner harbor with a growing harbor bridge, because they're
Mm-hmm.
about to knock down this one, our ace in the hole is the inner harbor right there. And if we allow them to destroy it with the water desal plant and the brine conditions that are going to come out of it, we are not holding an ace. We're keeping it in the deck. It's in our hand. We need to turn around and use it and show we actually have power. We deserve a seat at that table
Yeah.
that they are refusing to give us.
We're paying for it
Right.
all. They
Yep.
want us to pay for it all.
Yes. They want to feed us the scraps, but then at the end of the day, they're doing like this with the bill. Hey guys, here you go. Handle this for us.
And
That's how the
and
rich
here's the
stay
thing.
rich.
And here's the
Yep.
thing, I have said in the past, if it worked, if these plants worked so solidly, uninterruptible, drought proof, if all of those things, if that was true, Albert, industry would have built 100 of them already. They would have already built
Yep.
them.
Yep.
But what they're doing is they want for us to pay for the experiment because we can't sue ourselves. You've been saying that for years. We cannot sue ourselves. And
Exactly.
so, the hard part of it is that we're still in a fight. We're going to be in it for a little while. I know they're going after San Patricio County. They have not dared to do one of those industry growth plans for Nueces County. They have not dared to do that, or that I've seen. I haven't seen it if it exists, but I'm pretty sure if it did, somebody would have already sent it to me. Also, real quick, because I'm going to have to get going here. Because last week, the mayor, they approved all agenda items within 5 minutes. I got there at 11:35 and they had already approved all of them. And I need for them to pull some items. So I got to get there early. But here's the thing is that, you know, they keep telling us that we don't know things, and that we're ignorant, we haven't seen the science, but we have seen it. We have seen it.
We grew up here. Like it's
Yeah,
not.
like this is, and a part of it is common sense too. It's common sense too. You can't have that brine and discharge being in a whirlpool. And so, that goes back to me after seeing that San Patricio growth plan. And I'll show it to you guys again real quick. Well, of course, it's not sitting on here. I have everything laid out on a bed, so sometimes honey spice moves things. Anyway, after seeing that growth plan, I'm worried for our area. I'm worried for the coastal bend. I'm going to a meeting in Ingleside next week where it's got that one ammonia plant that's trying to go in there. And so, this battle is across city lines. It's in Ingleside, it's in Aransas, it's in actually, Aransas Pass has a really good mayor because she doesn't want any further industrial growth. So they as a community are trying to get that figured out. But here
Yeah.
we have a huge tourism is a huge attractor here, and they refuse to talk about that.
Yep.
They
Yep.
refuse to talk about that because then
Well,
they lose their we're a petrochemical town shit. We're not a petrochemical town. First of all, we are a family oriented community. That's why when all these people from out of town, like Austin and Houston and San Antonio, like, Corpus is dead, because we're not a partying town for the most part. People like to do stuff with their families. It's family oriented. Do we have a night scene? Yeah, we do, but it's small. It's a
yeah, it's
small
not
scene.
nothing compared to their Sixth Street deal. Yeah.
Right, right.
And
Which
look
they've
how
had
much
to
that pays
dismantle.
off for them. How many times they have shootings and huge
Yep,
brawls and all of that.
yep. And that's
You know,
where a lot of our problems come from, is downtown, the
yeah.
bars and the
Now
different.
you nailed it because I saw it firsthand again this weekend for that the kite deal, the light kites and stuff like that out in Port Aransas. Did you see that? Were you able to attend that?
I didn't go
So,
because I saw how it was like this.
well,
And
we
I
got there.
said,
We left Corpus at 6. We got over there, picked up food in there, got in line, and ate in the vehicle while we were driving through. But it took us an hour and 45 minutes. And this is not a complaint, guys. Hear me out completely. It's not a complaint that it took me an hour and 45 minutes because we were enjoying family time together, even though we weren't off the truck. You know, the kids were able to sit in the bed of the truck because basically this is how slow we were going. Foot off the brake, foot on the brake, foot off the brake. I never once touched the gas
mm-hmm,
because as we were moving along, we were sightseeing of everything that was going on. There was so many people that were there for a community family event.
mm-hmm.
That's where the tourism happens. That's where all the
Yep.
tourism dollar comes in. And all of that will be gone if they destroy the base. Because will anybody want to come and visit a dead city?
Nope.
And what I mean by dead city is the stench. You're gonna smell death. That's what's gonna happen with that Inner Harbor desal plant, guys.
Yep.
And again, the water is not for us. Don't believe
And
that
then,
where
and
there's
Albert,
proof out there. The paperwork is there. They have pre-sold the water, and anytime they get any new water, it's not for the community.
nope.
It's for industry, for
Yep.
them to keep filling their pockets.
And guess what, too? When we stop going to the beach and we stop attending those things, guess what they're going to do to our coastline, Elon Musk?
Yep,
You're talking
we're
about
gonna
space
lose it just like
activities.
Boca Chica.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. So
Yep.
anyway, you guys keep up the good fight. Keep listening to, jumping on here and listening when you can. I've got to get going. But we will definitely be in touch some more. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask Albert. If he doesn't have the answer, he'll ask me, and we'll be all right. But we just have to come together, and at this point, water is not a political party. Water is, we all need it. We all need it.
Yeah.
And whenever they're
Yeah.
talking about $11 a gallon, look at your water bill. If you're using 3,000 gallons here, 3,000 gallons at, because that's what they projected average family use it. Well, that's not right. Hold on.
I gotta use the restroom real quick. I took a water pill, so man, it just cleaning me out. Give me a second. I'll be back.
Like, we're going to have really expensive water here in the very near future, and we're going to be in massive amounts of trouble. So I kind of, implore you guys to keep on getting informed, have discernment, know who you're talking to, know what side of things they're on. Be careful about being manipulated, and get involved if you can. If you've never voted, that's okay. I'm not going to make fun of you, or because quite frankly, I didn't start getting involved in all this. I've always voted in presidential races, but I've never voted in, I wasn't really involved in local races. And boy, was that a mistake. We have got to get involved in local races in our communities, because that's where we're impacted directly, immediately. And we're impacted immediately and directly. So, and I think that Albert is learning that, like, wow, presidential races are important, but man, these local ones are where they get us in our pocketbooks. So we're making strides. I don't want for anybody to get discouraged or given up. I'm putting together a list of all the things that we've been able to accomplish as a community. So you guys, we got to be consistent. We've got to be steady, and that's how you win the race, slow and steady, and that's what the plan is. So let's wait for Albert, if he
Yep.
can.
All right,
There he
guys.
is.
I'm back.
Okay, I'm gonna give it back to you. I got to get on the road, and so good luck, guys. And again, if you need any information from me, I've supplied it. But if for some reason you can't find it, just get with Albert. He'll get
Hard
with
life.
me. We're in constant communication. So bye, guys. Have a
Yep.
great day.
You too. Hold on just a second. All right, Rachel, you have a good one. Thank you
You too.
again. Guys, I got to
Thanks.
cut and run as well, but we'll
Okay.
stay in touch. We'll definitely keep everybody up to speed for sure. You have a good one.
Awesome. Bye.
Later. All right.